been given, and she's been given some stuff, but like she needs we need to put her somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just a little chew and spit.
Just a little chew and spit, for the naughty girls.
For the naughty girls.
We're going to have to cut some of that.
Yeah, I told my husband, I chew and spit, but now I swallow.
That's a good wife. All right. Let's get into it. We kind of got to speed through so we can leave in a lot of our discussion. Good morning, students. I'm Lauren. And that's Michelle.
I'm Michelle.
And today we are covering Secret Lives of Mormon Wives with the help of some very hilarious, brilliant guest professors, the also podcast girlies. We're taking a quick break in our Real Housewives of Orange County coverage. We'll be back next week to recap the new episodes and part 2 of season 8. But this week, we're going to do like a quick recap and analysis of this Mormon series that's sweeping the nation in case you haven't watched yet or you don't remember. And then we're going to get into like it was like a Socratic seminar. Am I right, Michelle? We learned so much.
And I don't even know what Socratic means, but it felt that way.
It definitely felt Socrat-ish, at least.
Yeah, I felt
Socratesque.
Sokotoa, baby.
Sokotoa. And yeah, that's because these girlies, they have been best friends for a long time. They've got their own podcast. One of them did extensive research on all the Momtok characters we're about to discuss. Mm-hmm. This is Alicia and Mare from Also Podcast. So you can skip ahead to the discussion if you want, but we're going to give you a quick recap, analysis, and primer for all the girlies who want to catch up. Okay, let's get into it. So, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is on Hulu. Structurally, the show, it's not like Real Housewives, which is like a soap opera and documentary.
Honestly, this show feels like if TikTok had a TV show.
It's like TikTok, the TV show, and it's also like, what it reminds me of is like a teen soap opera. Like it reminds me a lot of, did you ever watch The Secret Life of an American Teenager?
Was that the pregnant girl?
The pregnant girl.
Then yes. Because at first I thought you were going to say My So-Called Life, and I'm like, no.
No, not at all. Excellent show. Not like this.
Not like this. No Jared Leto.
No, like the show, it's very much like, it's not like a workplace. It's like them making their TikToks together. It's like a group of friends who make influencers who make TikToks together. It's like a high school because of how little these Mormons know about life
and
how
raw their home. Like all of their houses look like warehouses.
And
like there's no rugs. It's just like an empty.
I bet a lot of them are leasing, for the show too.
You can put a rug in, baby.
I know, throw a rug in. Yeah, like it's or sex or just like any kind of day to day
in there.
Things. Well, they're learning about it though. Like the way they discuss. Learning. It's all very adolescent. Everyone's getting pregnant all the time because they don't believe in birth control. It's just very teenager, but that's what makes the drama so real.
Don't believe in birth control. Might believe in swinging.
Yes. And it's not their fault. It's like the religion is so
it's Joseph Smith's fault.
It's Joseph Smith's fault for creating a religion that's so ups the dude so much and makes the women so submissive. Allegedly, which is hard to grapple with, in 2024, especially on social media, on TikTok. So these women are kind of they're growing up before our eyes.
They're growing up, but the other thing too is, they're all Mormon, and so they're in what, from the outside perspective, in a religion that seemingly kind of oppresses women, but these women are the only ones working in a lot of these households. Are the only people bringing in money. So.
It's true. They're for some of the households, the man doesn't work, but they're making more money than their husbands across the board.
Yeah.
So that's even the most religious have had to kind of reckon with their idea of what a good life is. Yes. Okay. So let's get into the characters and their story arcs. So all of the characters, and there's a lot of them, and they're all identical. So we're all going to focus on the main ones that one of them is a hairstylist. So they all have the same curled hair extensions. They all have Mormon face, which we'll get into. But they're Mormon momfluencers who make TikToks together. They're all in their 20s, and they're all living in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So our lead character, our Shailene Woodley from Secret Life of American Teenager, our most famous one is Taylor. Taylor is most famous because she was a popular influencer, and then she did a really messy like TikTok where she went live, where she confessed to swinging, having an emotional affair. She later got a divorce, and she is, we pick up after all of that, she's like our hero, our protagonist, and I would say she's like an underdog comeback story, you know?
Yeah, she's like Joan of Arc, basically.
Basically, yeah, she was, you know, burned at the stake for, you know, simply giving hand jobs to guys who were her husband, with her husband there. And now she's, you know,
By the way,
a saint,
she's
revenging.
starting a revolution, and everyone's mad at her.
Everyone's mad at her. But then I do think like she is the leader of the women for the most part as well, despite like the fact that they're a little pissed at her at first. Like, you know, she's kind of the one who, lit the flame and brought them all into the French Revolution or whatever Joan of Arc did. Charlemagne.
Yeah, no, she was like way before that, I think.
Okay. Well, Dakota is her new boyfriend. She's not the guy that she was swinging with, who she had an emotional affair with and left her husband
her
because of that.
Swung the other way towards her DMs, and that's where she found Dakota.
And that's where she found Dakota, who is, I would say, the archetypal like bad boy. He is a lot like, I would say, Jared Leto's character in My So-Called Life, where he has
dare you
issues. He's a Jordan Catalano. He has piercing.
My dreams. And I mean, first of all, I bet that Dakota has beautiful eyes, but we've never seen his iris. And
true. Well, yeah, he's all pupil.
Also, like, he's not even giving us bedroom eyes. Like, he's not, like, Jared Leto was like,
yeah, Jared Leto is a much sleepier performance, whereas Dakota is, I would say, is wide-eyed, intense.
He's very Judy Garland.
Yes,
in her heyday.
Yes, love the dolls.
If you know.
So yeah, he's like kind of a former fuck boy, and he and Taylor have a contentious relationship. They're very much like your archetypal like teen couple. They're like, you know, Brendan and Dylan. It's like, well, they won't
together. Yeah, they're always together. They're not together, and you don't know what's going on. And like, is Brenda gonna get with Luke now? Like, what's happening?
Yes. And then our other, I would say, main character is Whitney, who is, oh my god, such a good character. She's like the classic religious mean girl, like teenager. Like she's like
Amanda Bynes in Easy A.
She's so Amanda Bynes in Easy A. She's so what's her name? Mandy Moore in Saved.
Okay. Yeah.
She's so like the girl who, you know, wants to be the queen bee, weaponizes her purity.
Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls.
Or I would say even Regina George in Mean Girls.
In sheep's clothing.
In Mormon's, and actually very tacky clothing, because she has kind of a histrionic personality where she would rather wear something attention-getting than pretty, which results in her looking like a pregnant figure skater a lot of the time when she's pregnant.
Just wear pink on Wednesdays, not whatever you're doing.
Exactly. Instead of wearing a vest, that vest is disgusting. So yeah, she's a very holier than thou villain / bitch, and it's like not, I don't know, a lot of people like are triggered by her or really like angry about her because they have
what she wants.
Yeah, because it is attention. I know people have like experienced the people like this. I did too growing up, but that's actually what makes me love to see it represented. Like she's just such a strong character to like juxtapose Taylor.
I mean, yeah, it's like not until you like actually watch some of the things that she's done, even her pre-reality TV sort of shenanigans. Wild choices that she
wild makes. Stuff, as Carson says, wild stuff. Wild stuff. Okay, so our one of our big side characters, our biggest side character, is probably Jen Affleck. Yes, that's right, Jen Affleck, who is a dutiful Mormon wife. She's like married into Mormon royalty, even though she is like a, you know, middle class or lower middle class Ecuadorian immigrant.
She was in 13 going on 30. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
That was
the former Jennifer Garner. Yes. Jennifer Garner Affleck.
I love that movie.
And yeah, much like Jennifer Garner, she married a royal Affleck, Zach Affleck, who also has claimed to be related to Ben Affleck. Internet has debunked it. He has claimed
Gambling
a lot of
problem.
things, and it's all his house of cards is going to be tumbling down, as we will see.
We're counting cards.
Yes. Smaller characters, so Jen is also like a good girl, part of the good girl clique with Whitney, the villain, Macy, and Michaela. They are like a little sub clique of Montauk called
Macy,
the Saints.
Michaela, that's the same person.
Basically, yeah. And then Jesse and Demi, also basically the same person. They are the sinners. They drink on camera. They're basically the same. And then we have Layla. We won't even get into that. She doesn't do much for the plot. So yeah, they're the sinners, Jesse and Demi. They're drinking on camera. Like Demi and her husband are freaks sexually. They are less adherent to the Mormon faith and more like discovering themselves. So there's three main stories with a lot of dirty sodas and Botox in between. First of all, we've got Taylor versus Dakota. So this is where filming picks up. Taylor has been dating Dakota after her divorce. He is a recovering fentanyl addict. And she tells her mom they are probably pregnant. And her mom is like, get your shit together.
Yeah, she was like, but okay, this is also really funny that Taylor's mom was like, but he's not going to move in here because you can't live with each other because you're not married.
And she's like, yeah, totally, but we'll see what happens later.
Yeah.
And also the rest of Momtok are kind of having a hard time forgiving Taylor, especially Whitney. Whitney is leading the charge to not forgive Taylor because when she talked about the swinging but was vague about who was involved and saying it was Momtok, everyone did it. Like a lot of rumors were started about other people and speculation, and Whitney especially blames Taylor for rumors started about her family, and she tells Taylor, I don't trust you anymore. I don't know where we stand. So then Taylor goes to the Momtok group. The rest of them like forgive her. And then she later announces that she is pregnant, but she may have either miscarried or had an ectopic pregnancy, and they all comfort her. She's welcomed back into the group. Everything seems to be going swimmingly until we cut to police footage. We hear a phone call. A neighbor has called 911 because she hears a garage door opening and closing, someone screaming. It sounds like someone's trying to get out. The cops show up. Taylor is drunk and belligerent and attacking Dakota. Her kids are also in the house. The cops arrest Taylor because she's like, drunk and belligerent. Because there's video evidence, she is, despite Dakota not pressing charges, she is tried for domestic violence and receives a year of probation. Which is where we pick back up. We flash forward to the last month of Taylor's probation, and also Taylor is 7 months pregnant. She is still with Dakota, now living with her parents in her third trimester, and she has moved in with her family, and now she has told her mom that Dakota, despite what her mom's wishes previously in the show, Dakota will be moving in because he's the father of her child. We get a really awkward scene.
Like with her parents, they're like,
yeah.
Ooh.
They're like, okay.
Like the day, like she tells them
the day he's got boxes.
He walks in with like his moving boxes, and then she's like, he's moving in.
Yeah.
And then they're just scowling at him.
Yeah. So her parents aren't stoked. Also, Macy, one of the Saints, is not stoked because she goes shopping with Taylor, and she's concerned that Taylor and Dakota's relationship is unhealthy. She's noticed Dakota texting really cruel, jealous stuff to Taylor at parties. She thinks that like Taylor is taking all the blame for their toxic relationship, but really Dakota might be the villain, and Taylor's kind of like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. Blows her off.
Yeah. Taylor's got a lot happening. I mean,
she's got a lot going on.
She's like, she's got a felony. She's got a baby coming. She's breaking up with the guy who's moving in.
Yes. I mean, Taylor is pretty much focused on fighting with Dakota.
That, and also, she's got to, maintain her, custody agreement with her ex-husband.
Keep the kids off camera, but keep shooting. It's, a lot.
Yeah, they can't be on camera for Hulu, but they were on camera for the police camera.
Yes. Well, no, they were blurred. They were blurred. That's legally they have to be to protect them. So Taylor still grows closer with the group, especially Macy. And Macy hopes that Taylor will confide in her. Taylor admits her relationship is terrible. She can't commit, but not because of abuse, because of instability.
Mm-hmm.
Because we learned it's because before Taylor and Dakota were exclusive, Dakota slept with several women.
Oh my God.
And Taylor sees this as a betrayal and she cannot move past it or let it go.
Yep.
And she has serious fears that Dakota may have slept with someone the day of or after they became official. This is all a real question mark for me. You know, I'm just not a jealous person. I'm like, why are you guys fighting about that and not about like everything else? Like, this seems like the least of your problems.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening, but maybe it's easier to focus on this
Yeah,
than
I
like
think
the like
so.
felony and like the, like, and like maybe she won't have to help him like move his stuff if like, she can just be mad about this one thing. He's like, fine, you can be mad and you don't have to help me unpack.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, it is weird that like they seem to not really fight about what happened that dark night, but they do constantly fight about that he hooked up with two people before they were exclusive. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
mean, it's like that stupid Friends, like we were on a break or
It's
whatever.
so Ross and Rachel. It almost makes me think
They like,
it's for the cameras.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I've often
If we see Dakota start saying pivot,
pivot.
We know.
We
We
know.
will all see the truth.
Dakota, you're Ross. We've got our Ross suspicions.
Yeah.
Definitely their anger and their like, push pull is real, but I just have some doubts about like.
Like they just also do like really childish things that like I haven't done in a relationship since I was like 20 and not fully there mentally. I was not so like I'm like, oh, I'm blocking him on my phone even though I could give birth at any moment. I did not do that at 20, but it's just like the weird like declining calls and not answering.
Yes.
And blocking the number and
blowing up the phone with like a million texts.
And then, like, and then just getting like so much joy out of it. Like Taylor's like she loves
all
the girls like how messy she just was, and they're like, "Are you not about to be giving birth?"
Yeah, and it's so funny because they're like they're treating it like serious. They're like, so is this like an abusive relationship? And she's like. She's like, no, even worse. I think that he might have hooked up with this girl and I cannot let it go. And it's like, okay, we need to like refocus.
But
like,
also, okay, like that episode where like they're on that she's like mad at him. Just every episode she's mad at him. And so she's with her mom and her mom's like, she's like, he's not talking to me right now. They're not talking. She could give birth at any minute. And her mom's like, well, call him and tell him that you're like going into labor. She calls him, he declines her call, so she sends him a text like, hey, I'm going into labor. You need to come to the hospital or whatever. He doesn't even respond back to Taylor. He calls Taylor's mom and he's like, is she really giving birth right now?
Oh my, because she's done that before.
Yeah, he's really going into labor right now.
God, so that's like, yeah, the heights of the toxicity. Taylor also reveals to like the women that the deal, they're like, why don't you just break up? She's like, I wouldn't break up. The one way that I would break up with him is if I found out that 2 days, like within the 2 days we became exclusive, he did fuck someone, as I already suspect and feel like I know that he did. And they're like, okay. And then
that's
Macy,
normal.
Yeah, it's like what, not any of the other stuff. Like maybe this is gonna be hard with a kid and whatever. So then Macy, who really wants them to break up, Macy had a abusive relationship with her first husband and got a divorce despite being a devout Mormon. Yeah. And so she like really believes that's what's happening. So she kind of farms for like secrets, and there's a woman who claimed that she did have sex with Dakota right like in that window where Taylor and Dakota were official, and she didn't know they were official yet. So Macy's like, if I drop that bomb, then that means that they will break up, but she's debating if she should. So she meets with Dakota, who just says like, "But out of my family, my wife is like giving birth right now. Her mom keeps texting me like, I gotta go." And Macy's like, I'm gonna do what I think is best. And then the end of the show is Taylor giving birth, all of it being on camera, her still looking gorgeous, extensions, like, you know,
like the Virgin Mary.
Yes, she truly is a saint. Saint Taylor Frankie Paul.
Saint Taylor Frankie Paul, a swig.
And then we see Macy calling the woman who claims she fucked Dakota at the beginning of Taylor and Dakota's relationship, which means that Taylor will dump him if this is true, and Macy tells her. Cliffhanger. I don't know. I do think that they might be pushing the push-pull a little too much, where it's gonna be like Friends, and next season, especially because they're continuing this in the social media realm right now, off season, they're unfollowing and refollowing each other. I don't really care if they're, I already don't care. I think we need to move on and Taylor have more plots with the group, personally. But I think that she wants Dakota to have a job. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's nice when they have jobs.
It's not, which not all the men on the show. Okay, so let's get into the next major conflict, which is the sinners, the bad girls of Momtok versus the saints, the good girls of Momtok, which really devolves into Whitney, the villain, versus everyone.
Yep.
So through Whitney, we kind of see the pressure and competition to be a more like godly woman, and the judgment you get for not doing that, especially from like not only the men, but the women in the church. Whitney kind of embodies that and weaponizes that. So first she, blames Taylor, like we talked about, for rumors about her family, doesn't trust her or forgive her. And then when Momtok gathers, Whitney admits that actually the rumors, which apparently, like, she was blaming Taylor for like, I had to move to Hawaii because of all these rumors you started about my family. I didn't feel safe here. And then Whitney explains, actually, I moved to Hawaii and then moved back 2 months later because my husband was addicted to porn, which is what they call cheating in Christianity, and messaging people on Tinder and sending photos, and it had been going on for a long time, and we just wanted to deal with it. So then Taylor's like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, the rumors were based on people finding his dating app profiles. It had nothing to do with Taylor. Like, but like, you know, Whitney's MO is like, okay, well, if I need unwavering support at all times, no matter what I do. So it's like,
and no matter how heinous it is, like, because like, Taylor does some really heinous things, and they're very questionable. I mean, the DUI or the drunkenness, very, very bad. But like, Whitney does really shitty things too. It's just very different than what she's doing. It's almost like it's creepy.
It's definitely theatrics. Like, she's a stunt queen. Like, she loves her stunts.
She's a stunt queen.
Yeah. She's she went to the school of Aviva Drescher. If she had a prosthetic leg, she would throw it. She does a lot of props.
She's
a la. Yeah, she's very like putting it on, but then like being like, but that came from a genuine place.
Like, I didn't do anything. Place, and maybe you're the asshole.
Yes. It's like she doesn't only weaponize like being holier than thou, she also weaponizes like pop psychology, where it's like, but that was my truth, support me in my truth.
If you can be friends with Taylor, like, none of you can be friends with me.
Yeah, and that is her competition with Taylor is a big part of it too. Because after Taylor's arrest and the time we're not shooting, Whitney had emerged as like the group's new leader.
Number one girl in the
group. And she had kind of like split off the group kind of in two, where it's like she preferred the sinners or the saints girls. They were like at the top of the pyramid, the more godly, more Mormon girls. And then the sinners were like, she kind of treated lower rung. This especially is shown when Zach is having a graduation party, Zach, Jen's husband, and Jesse and her husband, they swig from a flask in the hot tub.
It's not swig that they usually get with their dirty sodas.
Yes, it's not the soda swig. It's like a little tiny liquor flask with like, half a shot of Fireball or
Robitussin.
whatever. Yeah, they're probably tussin. They're
Tussin.
robo-tripping.
Yeah, they're robo-tripping.
And so everyone, Whitney is furious. Zach and Jen are furious. Whitney pushes Zach and Jen, and they both agree that the sinners, even though Demi wasn't even drinking, she's like, Demi and Jesse, they are sinners. They are uninvited to Jen's sister-in-law's baby blessing because it's
like,
godly.
Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and it's like the day before they're uninvited.
And I'm like, what's a baby blessing? Like, where's Taylor? Did she have a baby? Like, let's move on, girls.
Yeah, they really drop you in the middle of Mormon life without
Mormon life, and I'm like, this is like whiplash. Like, I don't know what's happening. But it's like 15 years later, we've all changed. Like, I'm different now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a different person.
Everyone. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Whitney has different hair every episode because the shooting took place over like a course of
her
years.
Husband somehow even has like
more different hair,
and her husband has even more different hair, and like he doesn't even go to that hairstylist.
No, my theory is I think he got plugs early in. Like I think he got plugs
sometimes. No, but remember you bleached it, and then...
I think there was post plugs. That's I don't know. We'll get into my hair theories on him. And a TikTok. Okay, so back to the show. So when Taylor has her baby shower, Whitney no-shows. She does not RSVP. She doesn't show up.
She had RSVP'd.
She RSVP'd, yes.
She was supposed to be there, and then she never told anybody she wasn't going to come.
Yes, and so then when
and she had a call time, she knew
she had a call time. She was on the she was supposed to shoot that day
on the call list. She knows.
She went rogue. And I'm sure, like production was calling, but who we see calling is actually Taylor's mom. Who takes things into her own hands, and that's why it's very high school. It's like the mom being involved. Like,
how many calls is Taylor's mom getting all of the time?
Oh my god, yeah. Like
is my not girlfriend having my baby right now? And like, I didn't want to come to the baby shower because I hate your daughter.
Yes, and like the ex-husband being like, "Are we still doing drop off or are we shooting?"
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, Jason has my mom's number, but that's it.
Yeah. Same. It's crazy.
Calling my mom.
Yeah. Yeah. But her mom likes it. Taylor's mom is definitely like,
she's
like a side character, but
I'll get the screen time.
She's got a little bit like a big Kathy, like the Kyle Richards and Kathy Hilton's mom energy, or like Abby Lee Miller energy, where she's like, she enjoys, and she dresses Whitney down, and Whitney, I mean, I would just be horrified. I have respect for my elders, and I'm not even in the Mormon church where the elders, keep the scrolls or anything. Yeah. But like the way that Whitney is so sassy back, and she's like, well, I don't think I owe her anything, and we're not friends anymore, and that's why I didn't think that I would need to come or tell anyone. Like it's like, that's her mom, dude.
Yeah, and she's like, okay, can I go back to the baby shower for my grandchild?
Yeah. So yeah, Whitney and this. So we've got a lot of baby showers these couple episodes
because they don't want to stop having these babies,
and they don't believe in birth control, so they be reproducing. Mormons be making babies,
and they be popping them out.
Yep. Whitney and the Saints get ready for Demi's baby shower together, and they while they're getting ready, they're making fun of Demi for like earlier on an influencer trip. She told a dirty story about her and her husband and sitting on his face, and it included Fruity Pebbles. It's what we speculate on what this is later in the discussion with the Also podcast girls. So, but we can't get into it again because
it's too traumatizing.
It's too traumatizing. And at the shower,
let's just say there's no chew and spit.
No chew and spit. I mean, honestly, we don't know.
We don't know. They could be doing that.
That could be it.
Spit, yeah.
So at the shower, Demi opens her present from Whitney. It is a Fruity Pebbles cake, and Whitney laughs hysterically, and Demi is furious that this was supposed to be like a nice, event and like about her baby, and then instead she made it like a prank trying to shame her. I would like, I don't know, I would give Whitney a little more leeway if they weren't being so mean about Timmy before they came over and like mocking her for having sex with her husband so much.
I don't want to like see Mormon pranks.
Yeah, no Mormon shenanigans. It's too wholesome. No, even when it's dirty, it's too wholesome.
Yeah, even when they're swinging, it's like it's uncomfortable because it's wholesome.
Yeah. There's like they're like, you know, they're like Christians, but like
different,
a Canadian element, like the dorkiness of a Canadian.
Yeah, they're
and the culture being a little different.
They're like if like a moose was a Christian.
100%, like where it's like
you're like that's weird.
That's weird, like where there is like an element of like aliens, which I do think that they kind of believe in that.
But like,
you're not.
Are you from here?
Yeah, like your culture is so like even the dirty soda, like the soda with cream in it, which is what they drink instead of coffee because no hot drinks that bad. Yeah, it's like so that's kind of what a human would do. Like you're so close.
Actually, do you remember? Okay, there's like one episode where they do go get coffee. It was like iced coffee, but they were like, I don't remember who it was, but one of the girls goes like, "Let's go get our drink on, girl."
Yes, they're like, we're being bad. Starbucks. Let's get a little drinky, a matcha.
Yeah,
ooh, we're gonna sin.
Yeah, drinky drink. But yes, I will have sex with your husband.
Yes. Yeah, just what it's. I think that's part of the show's success. It's fascinating to learn about their just bizarre cultures, so similar to ours, yet so different.
It's like, yeah, it's like, wait, but in their world, really, like 1 + 1 is 3.
Yeah, it really is. Them's the rules. Yeah. It's all about loopholes and like loopholes in the text, and the loopholes have become the culture. So Demi is super pissed still at Whitney, and so all the Momtok girls meet up again, and Whitney is confronted about doing that by Demi. She immediately throws Demi under the bus again and says that Demi says Taylor is trashy. So Demi gets like big mad and she pops off. She has to like go in another room. And Whitney tells the girls her only issue with Taylor was that Taylor was forgiven so quickly by Momtok after the swinging and divorce, but Whitney was not given the same support when she released her RSV video.
Which we do talk about later.
Yeah, it's a like kind of what gave her viral fame, but not for the right reasons. Everyone was dunking on her. Viral for the RS virus. So in the other room, Demi reveals that when she did ketamine therapy with Whitney, oh, by the way, that's one of the loopholes. Ketamine. It's socially acceptable. They're not allowed to drink, but it's socially acceptable for all these women to do ketamine therapy like once a week. Yeah. And they all get full laughing gas or like anesthesia for Botox, which most people don't even get a local anesthetic or lidocaine for.
Yeah, like I have no pain tolerance. You know, I'm terrified of needles, and like I got Botox without any like numbing agent. Like it was fine.
Yeah, it's wild. Again, it's like
I didn't even know that was like. I don't think that's offered places. And I went to a doctor.
No, only and in Utah, it's protocol. Like,
wait, so do they do that at Beauty Lab and Laser?
I'm sure they do. Well, I don't know because it's more expensive probably to have an anesthesiologist.
We should do that for your bachelorette party. We should go see an anesthesiologist
and get laughing gas and Botox. Or just go Botox. Under. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's just Twilight sleep.
Yeah, like we're gonna have like a non-invasive procedure.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, that's fun. That's I do read a lot about people who that's their hobby. So, and watch them on TV like these girls. So yeah, she reveals during the ketamine therapy with Whitney, she said that Whitney was actually not sorry at all about the RSV video and couldn't believe people were mad at people for even being upset about it. Which, you know, it involves the health of her child. So that's all very bizarre.
Yeah, and Whitney's defense of it all, it was weird. She's like, I was trying to spread joy.
Yeah, I mean, I get her kind of get her thought process.
What these girls remind me of? It's like when you're like, if you have like a 2-year-old and you hear them say like, you say like, God damn it, because this happened with like Ruby when she was 2. So I said like, God damn it, and then Ruby was like, but she was 2. She goes, God damn it. It's like really funny because like they don't know it's bad.
Yeah,
like,
they know not what they do.
But it's like you shouldn't do that. But
yeah,
they're like toddlers cussing, except they're adults swinging.
Yes,
drinking coffee.
Exactly. I think that's why. Yeah, it's like it gives them a lot of leeway for like bad behavior in this reality TV climate where people. Yeah, it gives them a lot of leeway for ketamine. Where like this reality TV climate, people are like, I don't want to see people being mean or whatever. But it's like
I don't want to see
girls
them drunk all the time, and they are not drunk all the time.
They don't drink, and like it's like they can't help it. You know, they're all ketamine out.
They don't drink. They're pregnant, and they're like, let's go to Las Vegas.
Yes, which is where we go next. But Whitney does not go. She bails on the group chat. She unfollows the sinners.
She excommunicates herself.
She moves to LA without telling people, just to like be an actress the same way she did to Hawaii.
She gets new headshots.
And it brings, in her absence, it really brings all the sinners and saints and Momtok together, and they're all like, fuck Whitney.
Yeah.
So Whitney doesn't go to Vegas. Whitney no-shows at her former saint BFF's launch party.
Oh my God.
It's Macy's launch party.
This was a shock.
And so they're counting down to the launch, and all of the girls decide, fuck Whitney for not coming to this, not shooting with us. And they count down to the launch, and they really count down to all unfollowing Whitney at once. So then, because Whitney is also a big fan of the push-pull, Whitney moves back to Utah and apologizes.
Okay, number one, like, it is so, okay, you've moved a few times. Like,
it's expensive.
It's so, and just like logistically, like
it's stressful. They've got a kid,
like a different part of the city.
But here's the thing with Mormons: they have people in every city to stay with. Like there's Mormon representatives in almost every city, so you can crash with them. So I'm guessing they went out to house shop both places, but they never had a permanent residence.
Yeah, like, I'm like, Hawaii and LA are like really expensive.
I doubt they even had an Airbnb. I bet they were staying with Mormons, like dollars to donuts.
I don't know if like, okay, I don't know how Mormonism works, but I don't think it's like you can just like couch surf. You can. People have to open, like my friend's ex-girlfriend in New York was Mormon, and like before she found a place, she just stayed with Mormons for like months, you know. Isn't there like an amendment or like a Bill of Rights or something? Like one of the laws is like you have to let like a soldier get shelter in your house or something. Quartering? Yeah. Yeah, quartering's illegal. So they're breaking the law. I thought it was a law. No, it's oh shit, sorry. That was gonna be loud. Jason, cut that. And don't divorce me because I don't know about quarter. No, that was one of our reasons we did the American Revolution, I think. Is to not have to quarter. So anyway, so LA was a bust, and so when he moves back to Utah, and like a lot of starlets, it is, baby. Yeah, and also I think the show got like picked up officially by the network, so they moved back. So and they shoot in Vancouver, which is crazy. Yeah. Everything shoots there. Yeah, Vancouver for Salt Lake City. So she, it's Michaela's birthday party at a roller rink, and Whitney makes it all about her, apologizes, explained that she wanted to be wooed and pursued when she left. She makes a very grand entrance where she shows up late, and then she shows up at all, and it's like everyone, it's so funny, uninvited. All the girls are like they just like turn their backs to her, but they are all wearing these like really big roller skates, and they're like trying to maneuver, and then like Michaela's just like. Talk to you. Yeah, she's like a horse. Like and it's like this was her one episode too, and like Whitney steals it. Whitney's just all about camera time. And she knows what to do with it, baby. She does. The camera loves her, and she knows it. So true, and she never apologizes for anything, even this. And she's like, she's not like she's J-Lo coded. She's so J-Lo. Yeah, she's gonna have a documentary about herself out very soon. This is me now. So yeah, she's like, I'm sorry that I left, but it's only because I thought you guys would care enough to follow me. Very cluster B clothed. Cluster B. She's like, and I noticed nobody's following me anymore. Yeah. They're like, you don't follow us. Yeah, you started it. Like, Yeah, that's the other. You started it.
And so that's kind of where we leave it. All the girls are mad at Whitney, but Whitney has no remorse because it's just something she had to do for her mental health because all the girls were so toxic. And then we see Whitney with her family, and they're at a diner, and they've got a cake that Whitney brought, and a big surprise.
The cake.
They're about to dig into the cake, and guess what's inside? A positive pregnancy test. Two, both that Whitney peed on, and that means that she and her husband are gonna have another baby.
She admitted to it because they were like, is this the one that you actually like peed on? Like, is this the actual test? She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she was actually confused that they were asking her.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I put a cap on it. It's like,
what?
Okay, what the fuck?
How did, also,
yeah, and the heat and stuff. Like, I don't even, the gastronomy she had to do
to find a baker. That would be like, here is my pregnancy test.
Will you,
on it.
I mean, and that's crazy because, like, sometimes there are pregnancy test shenanigans on reality TV a lot because it's like a prop that shows I'm pregnant. But, like, people always at least say, like, this isn't, like, this is not one that had pee on it or something, you know, like, I don't know how it would work, but they, like, kind of bluff. And she's like, yep.
Yeah, no, it is like disgusting.
It's disgusting. Yeah,
it's like so disgusting.
It's gross.
That she was like, "Who wants? Do I get first bite?" Like,
it's also such a tease to be like, "Yay, we get cake." Oh nope, you can't eat it because it has my piss all over. But you have something better, grandkids to look forward to. And it's like, but what about the cake?
Yeah, well, yeah. What about the cake? Well, like Whitney's moral dilemmas are my favorite because she's like, "Do I do this like TikTok for a vibrator and make like $100,000? I'm not sure, but I definitely should put my urine in a cake for my friends and my family."
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. There's no conundrum there.
Yeah, it's mine.
I think the only time she really thinks before acting is when she is acting on camera for storylines.
Her little hair, like the way that her hair
perfectly
flips.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she went through a lot of hairstyles. This is the one. This is so perfectly Christian bitch coded.
Yeah, because it's like there is not a hair out of place.
Yes, smooth. Yeah.
Smooth, but she is like, she's down and she's dirty.
Mm-hmm. And it sets her apart from the other extensions girls. You know what? You do, 100%. Whitney's the diva, and I hope she continues. Doesn't change anything. We have some concerns, but I have hope that she will continue.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like next season Whitney will be like, you're all white trash, quite frankly.
I love it. Yes. I'm still noping out of trips, Aviva style. I love it. Okay, so let's get to the last story, Zach and Jen. The main incident with... I accidentally said Ben and Jen. The main incident with Zach and Jen occurs on the Vegas trip. Zach, the Mormon royalty Affleck, decides to come with his wife Jen to Vegas, and he hangs out with Taylor's boyfriend Dakota off camera.
She's not allowed to go anywhere without him.
Yes, yeah, it definitely seems like a keeping tabs on for both men.
Yeah.
So Momtok does like a promotion, with Chippendales. Clearly it's a promotion. Like, they're oiling them up. They're, lubing them up. Jen is very uneasy the whole time, but like clearly, this is clearly contracted work, that they're being paid for. Like, not only on top, like the show is getting money for it's. So they say Chippendales a million times.
Yeah, that was in the contract.
Yes. But still, Jen is so worried about telling Zach. When she tells Zach about it finally and texts him, he starts texting her horrible things. He threatens divorce, a torrent of verbal abuse. The women are horrified. And then we find out from Dakota, who's with him, that the whole time he was texting her horrible things, he was gambling until like 1:30 in the morning.
Daddy's money.
Or actually, I think it was Jen's money. He lost $10K, and he'd already gambled away, we learned from Jen, all the money that his parents gave him for med school, and Jen has been paying for his med school. And a lot of these texts are talking, like, undermining Jen, her career. Like, you also don't tend to graduate from undergrad for med school when you have a lot of money at 28 years old, which that's the graduation party we see is his undergrad party. So it's all, maybe it's a Mormon thing to be a late in life doctor. I don't know.
Well, it's a late in life doctor, but early in life daddy.
That's true. Yeah, like have to pay for med school like when
But
you
being a
have two kids
father,
already, and like
yeah.
it's
And you got to go on these trips with your wife to make
yeah.
sure that she doesn't forget her garments.
Yes. Jen is the only garment wearer of the flock. All of the women agree that Jen needs to stand up for herself and either leave or change the relationship. But Jen
Wants to
is
cry and be
yes, and we see like really the Mormon influence that this is really what women are trained to do is just like hold on to a man, please him, be happy. And so instead of standing up for herself and her job, her lucrative job, at the end of the show, she moves with Zach to New York City to get away from Momtok and for him to pursue his doctorship more.
Yeah. He's gonna make it there in that town.
Yes, he can make it there, he can make it anywhere.
Get anywhere in New York.
He's got those Affleck connections too. So.
Yeah.
So the
The
theme of the
Afflecks are big in New York City.
yes. Yeah.
They're known for being New Yorkers.
From Boston to New York, all across the eastern seaboard.
And down that eastern seaboard.
Affleck, all you hear. So the theme, I would say the theme is growing up is hard. Like they're learning tough lessons that most of us have learned by the age of like 18 or 19.
Growing pains.
100%. And that's the charm and authenticity of the show, I would say,
and
despite its production flaws.
Christianity of it. Cameron.
The Kirk Cameron of Growing Pains, a good avatar for the Mormons here. Now you're all caught up. You're ready to ace any Secret Lives of Mormon Wives test. Enjoy your passing period. We're going to take a quick break and get ready to hear the real secrets about these Mormons, their sex lives, their social media, their ex-husbands, their stats with the church, all this great stuff from our two great guest scholars, Meredith and Alicia from Also Podcasts. And there's a lot of laughs too.